Welcome to Shudder Scape, brave souls, to the realm of the unknown. Here, in the heart of darkness, we unravel the chilling tales that lurk in the shadows. Stories that will grip your imagination and chill you to the core. Prepare yourself for spine-tingling narratives that delve into the depths of fear, where every whisper holds a secret and every shadow conceals a terror. Join our community of thrill seekers as we explore the macabre, the mysterious, and the downright terrifying. But remember, once you enter, there's no turning back. Hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell, so you never miss a moment of our haunting adventures. Are you ready to embrace the fear? The darkness awaits. Story 1. The wind howled, a mournful dirge that echoed through the skeletal trees. The snow crunched beneath their boots, each step a stark reminder of their isolation. Sarah and Ben, two seasoned hikers, had ventured into the heart of the boreal forest, a place of ancient untouched beauty. But as darkness enveloped the landscape, an unsettling chill seeped into their bones. A chill that wasn't born of the frigid winter air. They'd been warned about the legends, the tales of a creature that lurked in the shadows of the forest. A creature born of human despair and the unforgiving wilderness. The Wendigo, a gaunt skeletal figure with glowing red eyes, and an insatiable hunger for human flesh. They'd scoffed at the stories, dismissing them as the fabrications of fearful minds. But now, as the wind whipped around them, carrying with it an otherworldly scent of decay, doubt gnawed at their confidence. A strange noise pierced the silence, a guttural growl that seemed to emanate from the very depths of the forest. Sarah's heart pounded in her chest as she gripped Ben's arm. "Did you hear that?" she whispered, her voice trembling. Ben nodded, his face pale in the dim moonlight. They exchanged a tense glance, the fear in their eyes palpable. As they pressed on, the wind grew stronger, and the temperature plummeted. The trees seemed to close in around them, their gnarled branches reaching out like skeletal fingers. The air was thick with an oppressive silence, broken only by the occasional snap of a twig or the distant howl of a wolf. Suddenly, a shadowy figure emerged from the darkness, its form indistinct in the dim light. It moved with an unnatural grace, its long, spindly limbs stretching towards them, its eyes glowing an eerie red, fixed on them with a hunger that chilled them to the bone. Terror seized Sarah and Ben as they turned to flee, but it was too late. The Wendigo lunged, its claws outstretched. Sarah screamed as the creature's icy touch grazed her arm. In a blur of motion, Ben pulled her away, but the Wendigo was relentless, its pursuit relentless. They ran, their breath ragged, their legs burning with exertion. The forest seemed to close in around them, the trees growing taller and denser with each passing moment. The Wendigo's howls echoed through the woods, growing louder and more menacing. Desperation fueled their flight, but the Wendigo was gaining on them. Sarah stumbled, her foot catching on a root. She fell to the ground, her breath shallow and her body aching. Ben turned to help her, but the Wendigo was upon them. Its claws raked across Ben's back, tearing his coat and flesh. He cried out in pain, but he refused to give up. With a surge of adrenaline, he grabbed Sarah and pulled her to her feet. They stumbled on, their bodies battered and their spirits broken. Just when it seemed all hope was lost, they spotted a small cabin in the distance. It was a beacon of hope, a refuge from the horrors that pursued them. They raced towards it, their hearts pounding with renewed hope. As they reached the cabin, they collapsed on the porch, gasping for breath. They pounded on the door, pleading for help. The door creaked open, and an old woman peered out at them, her face etched with lines of age and worry. Come in," she said, her voice barely a whisper. "You're safe now." They stumbled inside, grateful for the warmth of the fire and the promise of safety. The old woman, her name was Anya, tended to their wounds, her hands gentle and soothing. She spoke in hushed tones, her voice barely audible over the crackling fire. "The Wendigo," she said, her eyes filled with a sadness that belied her age. "It's a creature born of despair and hunger, a manifestation of the forest's dark soul." She told them of the Wendigo's origins, a tale of a man who had succumbed to the harshness of the wilderness. Driven to the brink of starvation, he had turned to cannibalism, a taboo act that had transformed him into a monstrous creature. As Anya spoke, Sarah and Ben listened, their fear slowly giving way to a sense of awe and understanding. They realized that the Wendigo was not simply a monster, but a tragic figure, a victim of the unforgiving wilderness. But as they sat by the fire, a sense of unease crept into their hearts. They had escaped the Wendigo's clutches, but had they truly escaped its influence? The forest, with its ancient secrets and dark magic, held a power that was both alluring and terrifying. And as the wind howled outside, they couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched, that the Wendigo's gaze was upon them, waiting for the moment when it could strike again. The next morning, Anya woke them with a gentle touch. She had prepared a hearty breakfast, a welcome respite from the fear and exhaustion that had consumed them. As they ate, she spoke of the forest, its beauty and its dangers. She warned them that the Wendigo was a force of nature, a creature that could not be defeated by mere human strength. The only way to survive, she said, is to respect the forest and its creatures, to live in harmony with the land. Sarah and Ben nodded, taking her words to heart. They knew that their encounter with the Wendigo had changed them forever. They had faced their fears and emerged stronger. But they also knew that the forest held secrets that were far beyond their understanding. As they prepared to leave, Anya gave them a gift, a small pouch filled with herbs and roots. "These will protect you," she said. "But remember, the forest is a powerful place. Respect it, and it will respect you." They thanked her and set off, the weight of the Wendigo's presence still lingering in their minds. The forest seemed different now, more ominous, more alive. Every rustle of leaves, every snap of a twig, made them jump, their senses heightened. As they ventured deeper into the woods, they couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched. The trees seemed to lean in closer, their gnarled branches reaching out like skeletal fingers. The wind whispered through the leaves, carrying with it a chilling message. They reached a clearing, a small oasis of calm in the midst of the chaotic forest. As they rested, they noticed a strange symbol carved into a nearby tree. It was a symbol they had never seen before, a symbol that seemed to pulsate with an otherworldly energy. As they approached the symbol, the wind picked up, swirling around them like a whirlwind. The trees began to creak and groan, their branches twisting and turning. A low growl echoed through the forest, a sound that sent chills down their spines. The Wendigo emerged from the shadows, its eyes glowing with a malevolent intensity. It moved with a speed and agility that defied belief, closing the distance between them in an instant. Sarah and Ben screamed, their fear turning to terror. They tried to run, but their legs were heavy, their movements sluggish. The Wendigo lunged, its claws outstretched. In that moment, Sarah remembered Anya's words. She reached into her pocket and pulled out the pouch of herbs. She threw the contents into the air, a cloud of smoke obscuring the Wendigo's vision. In the confusion, Ben seized the opportunity. He grabbed a nearby branch and swung it at the Wendigo, striking it a powerful blow. The creature staggered back, its form momentarily obscured by the swirling smoke. Sarah and Ben turned and ran, their hearts pounding in their chests. They didn't dare look back, afraid of what they might see. They ran until their legs could no longer carry them, until they collapsed onto the forest floor, gasping for breath. When they finally regained their composure, they looked back at the clearing. The Wendigo was gone, vanished into the mist. But they knew that it was still out there, lurking in the shadows, waiting for its next victim. They had escaped the Wendigo's clutches, but they knew that their ordeal was far from over. The forest was a dangerous place, a place where nightmares came to life. And the Wendigo was just one of its many horrors. The shadows are restless tonight, and so are we. If you're brave enough, hit that like button, let us know what you think in the comments, and subscribe for more spine-tingling stories that lurk just around the corner.